Hello, beautiful manifestors. It is Olivia Grace. I'm back with another video. And in this video, we're going to be talking about how to manifest sales and clients overnight for those of you who have a business. Yeah, this just kind of came to me, and I'm like, I don't know why I don't talk about this more because I know it would be extremely helpful. I know there are a lot of entrepreneurs in law of assumption and into manifestation. And manifestation is, of course, the foundation of everything. But even when it comes to sales and things that seem very logical and you need to do this and do that, even when you read like these mindset books or like sales books and things, they tell you that mindset is part of it. So I'm going to just share with you guys some things that have helped me that I know will help you, and that really make the difference, especially if you're someone who finds like I'm affirming and stuff, but I'm not really getting anything. I'm going to tell you guys, some things that actually make the difference. Okay. So if you're new here, I am Olivia Grace. This is the Master Manifestors channel. Here I talk about law of assumption, manifestation, all that good stuff. So if you're into that, I'd love to have you be a part of the community, like the video, subscribe, share it with someone you think it will help. Hello, everyone. Hi, Seize the Day. Hi, Ashley. Hi, Summer. Hi, Simba. Hi, Justin. Hi, Reality Goddard. Aloha. Hi, Siren. Hi, Tava. Hi, Twinkle. All right, let's get started, okay? So, all right, where do I even begin here? Let's start off with self-concept, okay? Hi, Heaven. Self-concept is honestly, you guys, especially when it comes to like, if you really here and you have a business and you want some clients tomorrow, even today, like self-concept it's foundational, you guys, okay? It's foundational because your thoughts and assumptions stem from your self-concept, okay? So what you believe about yourself is what you believe about everything else. So if you believe like failure consciousness, this is a lot of where people are, where especially if you were like, I'm doing the techniques and nothing is working for me. You may be in failure consciousness, which means that you're expecting yourself to fail before you even begin. And it could be like a little, like a subtle feeling, but it could also be like you identify as a failure, right? And that sounds so, that sounds terrible, right? But it's okay. Like especially if you're someone who has had many businesses and has not had success in those businesses, that can create this identity that basically the opposite of the Midas touch. Like whatever I touch doesn't do well. It doesn't prosper, right? So that is a sneaky and huge belief that can keep success from you. And how do you turn that around, right? My best advice is revision, okay? Is to undo that, all of those things that have shown you and proven to you that I'm a failure, right? Whatever I do never works well, or it never prospers. I never get clients. I never get success. I never get sales. Like see all of that, redecide all of that. And also like step into the self-concept of success. Okay. So once again, we've been talking about, shifting states, right? How to shift into a state. And so you just ask yourself, well, what if it was true, right? Like, what if it was true that you were the most successful version of yourself, right? If you were the most successful version of yourself, then you wouldn't be nervous to post. You wouldn't be nervous to launch whatever it is that you want to launch. You would be naturally expecting business and sales, and you would be expecting for whatever you do to do well, right? So that's another thing. Something else too, you guys, this is something that I realized I had to work on because I'm a very airy fairy person. I don't really do pretty much anything logically, and so when it came to business, I had this idea that like, I'm a manifester, but I'm not a good business person. I don't understand business, but as a business person, that's not a good thing to believe about yourself, right? So, address that belief. And this is the thing, you guys, it's not to say like, oh, you have to go and take a business course. That might not be a bad idea, right? But it's to say, to take on the concept of self that says, I'm incredible at business. I'm an incredible businesswoman. I'm incredible at marketing. Everything that I do, everything I do prospers, right? Okay. So come into the successful self-concept, okay? Let's see. Next, SATs, okay? SATs. Y'all, listen. I'm telling you, SATs is the shit, okay? So what would happen if you were to make sales or if you were to have clients, right? If you were to make sales, you probably have something on your phone or on your computer that shows you that you have made sales. Most things that I've used have a little like a graph that shows the projection of your sale, or not the projection, but the trend of your sales. So like if you haven't been getting any sales, it might be like this, right? And so you can see it in your mind, see it up, like exponentially up, right? You can do it like that. But think about what would happen after, right? This is the thing about SATs, is going past the moment, past what it is that you want, right? And directly to what happens after I get what I want. Would you maybe like go out and celebrate? Would you go and take a vacation? Would you go out to dinner? Would you see something specific in your phone? Would you do something like maybe every night, before bed, you affirm for 50 minutes for your business, but now that it's worked, you're like, oh, I guess I can just, watch a movie for these 50 minutes. Like what would happen afterwards? Go past it and visualize that in SATs, right? Take it into sleep. Okay, that's another really good way to manifest sales and business, okay? All right. So next is know yourself as God. Like know yourself as above everything, you guys. Know yourself as above the old identity, above the failure consciousness, above, like, understand that you are multidimensional, you guys. Like what you are in one reality, you're not in another, okay? Yeah, in the past, up until this moment, yes, you may have been someone who struggled with sales or never really got any sales or was hard for you to get clients or whatever, but you don't have to continue to be that person. You get to decide now that you're no longer that person, okay? So allow yourself to come above the identity. This is actually, damn, that's actually some real good advice. Like, but it is like, because this is with anything, you guys. Like I seen somebody saying about money up there, and all of these things I feel like you can apply with money as well. But know yourself above the identity. Know yourself as the person that chooses the identity, not locked into the identity, okay? So there's that. All right. Focus on what you're giving more than what you're getting, okay? And this is a really, it can be difficult for us when we are, doing sales and stuff like that, especially if you have your own business and it's supporting you. Like your business basically becomes all about, making money. And this is the thing, okay? This is also something that you will find in a lot of sales books, is that in the long run, like for you to prosper, you want to give a good quality of something. You want to do the best that you can with whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're servicing people or you're selling things, right? But when your motivation is strictly, how do I get some money, right? Especially when you're in the business of getting clients, people feel that. Even though they don't have to be spiritually in tune, they don't have to be intuitive, they can just feel that you are grasping for money from them, and it turns them off, okay? Grasping energy is very unattractive, you guys. Grasping, needing, desperation, longing, all of that is very repellent energy, okay? So when you're thinking more about what you're giving, all right, like especially as like, let's take people who have clients, right? You work with people, in whatever way that you do. If you're thinking about what you're giving, they're also feeling that, okay? They're feeling that intention, and that actually draws them to you because they can feel that you're looking out for them and not yourself. And it's not that you're looking out for them and not yourself. It's, you looking out for them is actually prospering yourself as well, right? So think about what you're giving, even if it's a product that you're selling, right? It doesn't even matter. Like even if you sell freaking mops, you know what I mean? think about how that is blessing somebody, right? I mean, shit, we all need to mop our floors, right? Like, it's like, think about what you're giving, and instead of focusing on all of what you're getting. Once again, back to the entrepreneur or people who deal with people, and even with objects or things that you're selling, right? Is tune in with God, okay? Tune in with your intuition, okay? So like tuning in with your intuition, you guys, will help you so much, because that is your direct line to your higher mind, okay? And it's going to tell you what to do that may not always seem logical, right? Or may not always seem like a big deal. You know what I'm saying? But that they like this part of you has a expanded perspective, right? This part of you has an expanded perspective. This part of you knows what move you can make, what video you should post, what topic you should be on. It knows everything. So tune in with that. Like, I'm telling you guys, like, when I wake up, I don't necessarily know what I'm going to talk to you guys about, like it comes to me in meditation. It comes to me when I go into stillness, what to talk about. Okay. So tune in with God. Tune in and ask for direction from your higher mind, right? Let's see. What else? Of course, keep persisting, right? Because like your life can and will change, okay? Can and will change. Like my life, you guys, is so completely different. Like a lot of the times, like I'm like just chilling. Like my life is just me, like basically coming up with programs and coming on live and talking to you guys and doing things for my Patreon and doing things for my, like, meditating, praying. Like that's like my life now. My life used to be hustle, grind from sun up to sundown. Okay. And what would happen was I kept giving up on myself. I kept giving in. Right? I kept saying, damn, it's taking too long. And oh, like it's not working. And oh, I guess I just need to, I kept identifying as lower. I kept accepting that lower reality as real. I kept accepting that, well, this is all that I can do. All I can do is serve, or all I can do is drive Uber Eats. Like it's all I can do. And I kept accepting that. Okay. Don't accept it. Because you really can't. It doesn't matter, y'all. Like, it doesn't matter what it is that you're trying to do. It does not matter what it looks like, y'all. I swear to you, like, your brain is going to try and tell you all kind of logical things as to why it's not working, right? Oh, it's the economy. Look at what's going on with the president. And oh, there's nobody spending any money and everybody's struggling and broke. That's a motherfucking lie. Okay? That is a lie. All right. And it's not everybody is struggling and broke, but you're going to see what you put your eyes on, basically. You're going to see what your perspective is on, basically. Okay. So if you are identified as lacking, you're going to project a lacking reality, and you're going to meet other lacking people that confirm that assumption for you. When you go into a prosperous reality, right, and a prosperous consciousness, you're going to be in a prosperous reality that has other prosperous people with you. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Oh, be yourself. Okay. Be yourself. Like, stop. This is another thing with, like sales and all this stuff, right? Is that we feel like, oh, I have to do what all these other people do. Right? Like I have to do what all these other people do. I have to do what all the sales gurus say. I have to, hop in people's DMs and hit them up time after time after time after time after time. And that's what I have to do. And it's like, do what works for you, right? Do what feels good to you. Now, this is balancing getting out of your comfort zone, right? Because if you're a person that's like, yeah, I want to be a content creator, but I'm too shy to make content. So I'm just going to affirm I'm a content creator and never make content. Okay. Like you actually have to, you want to actually step into the assumption, right? Like you want to actually be what you're talking about and step out of your comfort zone. Okay. So, but you also want to be true to yourself. Like Be true to yourself. Be true to who you are. Like, feel, this goes back to like tuning in with your intuition, you know? Feel into what feels good to you, what makes sense to you, right? What feels natural to you in a sense. And again, I want to say balance that with also getting out of your comfort zone, and which actually can be the next tip, because when you're shifting identities, you guys, like when you're shifting identities, the new identity is a little uncomfortable, right? Neville talks about this like a man putting on a new suit, right? Or for us girls, putting on new shoes. You know, when you first put it on, it doesn't, even if it's the right size, right? It maybe doesn't hug you all the way right or feel all the way right. But you have to break it in, right? Right, princess, right? You got to walk a little bit in those boots or those heels. You know, you got to walk, you got to stretch a little bit in that suit, okay? And so it's the same thing with states, right? I can't. Princess. I love her. Okay, but you have to practice the new state, okay? Practice the new state. Practice being the new self. Like, get out of your comfort zone, okay? Get out of your comfort zone. I feel like that like literally contradicts what I just said, but they're both true. Like, you be true to yourself, right? But also be willing to get out of your comfort zone and do things that you haven't done before. Stop waiting for the fear to go away, guys. Okay? If you're someone who is like, I have a business idea, or I want to be a content creator, or I want to do this, I want to sell a thing, I want to be a coach. I know like a lot of y'all on here could be coaches just because of how well you guys know the law. I mean, to be a coach, you have to know the law. Actually, you know, to be honest, you don't have to know the law to be a coach. But you should, right? You should know the law. But you also have to be a teacher, right? You have to be able to be patient and be a good listener and all that. But anyways, what was I saying before that? I can't remember, but it's going to come back to me. But yes, be willing to get out of your comfort zone. Be willing to be the new person, okay? Be willing to actually show up as the version that you want to be. That's what I was saying. Don't stop waiting for the fear to go away, okay? That's something that a lot of people do. And that's why they like, literally, they'll be like, I want to do YouTube. But they're like, but I'm scared and I'm this and I'm that. And I'm going to wait 8 years, you know, until I actually post something. And it's like that's not, the fear doesn't go away when you never actually do it. You know what I mean? Like, as long as it's the scary thing that's over there, that's where it stays, you know? When I first started YouTube, you guys, I was like, I have to learn how to do my makeup professionally. I need a professional camera. I need this and this and that. Like, I really felt like I needed all of that stuff. I still don't have any of that stuff. I just decided to do it. Like, I just decided to do it, and it felt weird. It felt awkward. I was like, I'm talking to myself. This is so weird. Like, nobody's here. Now it feels very natural though, because I've done it so much, you know? Like, so stop waiting for the fear to go away, okay? Just do it. Just do it, y'all. Like, when they say that a lot, like most of the great things in life are on the opposite side of fear, it's so right. Because the fear is just keeping you in a limited and old identity, all right? So, all right. Okay, I don't think, wow, I've manifested being paid thousands of dollars as a streamer who doesn't even speak or use sound on my streams, period. Everything we tell ourselves really is just a story. Yes, I love that. Okay. All right, guys. Okay, I've asked a few people to help me with my phone bill. I can't even coach right now. I feel guilty that I asked them and they ignored me when I have always helped everybody. Okay, I'm sorry that happened to you, Amy. However, there's nothing for you to get from anybody outside of you, right? And I know that sounds so airy-fairy and dumb, but if you are in the state of lack, if you are conscious of, I don't have what I need, it don't matter who you ask and who has it, they can't or won't give it to you, because that's what you're aware of. You know what I'm saying? So come into the awareness that you have what you need, that your bill, just decide that your phone bill is paid. Like, this is the thing, y'all. There's nothing to move around in 3D. And it's just frustrating when you do. And I want to say this to you guys, because there's a little bit of the, well, I'm good to people, so people should be good to me. And let me tell y'all, that fucked me up from an early age. Okay. There's no, I'm good to people, so they're good to me. Right. And of course you can make that assumption, but it's your assumptions about people. A lot of times when you're a person who's like a people pleaser, or a person that's really nice and giving and all this stuff, we carry the assumption that other people don't do the same, and they don't. You know, that other people are selfish. And so they have to show up that way, right? You can't be a good person enough to get blessed. If that was true, all these evil people wouldn't be in control of everything, right? It's not about really being a good person. Now, I'm not saying don't be a good person, do be a good person, but direct your assumptions, you guys. Direct your assumptions. Stop trying to direct 3D. Direct your assumptions, and your assumptions are going to direct 3D, okay? People be saying, I don't know, just decide, but I don't know. I want to, but I'm too emotional. Well, then here's 2 ways to say it. Number 1, it might not be for you, right? When you're too emotional and you can't decide, because I totally get that. Like, sometimes I can be there sometimes, sort of, but like, if you're there, then just do a different technique. You know what I'm saying? But what I will say is that once you stop letting your emotions control you, y'all, that is something that will free you guys. It will make you so limitless when you stop letting your emotions dictate what you think. It's not about suppressing your emotions or not having emotions. It's that just because I feel sad, just because I feel hopeless, doesn't mean that I'm going to surrender to a bullshit ass story. That's it. And it's discipline, okay? It is discipline. It's like I said, this is a practice. We're not used to being like that, y'all. We're not used to being like that. It's something that you have to practice. That, damn, I don't feel good, but I know that an assumption, though false, if persistent and hardened into fact. So I might as well keep assuming what I'm assuming, right? Regardless of how I feel. All right? Stop letting your emotions direct you, okay? And it's okay to have emotions, but stop letting them run you, because they're going to run your ass all over the place, okay? How do you overcome fear? There's a quote that says that when fear knocks at the door, faith answers and no one is there. I think that having faith in God, having faith in the law, knowing who you are, knowing what you are, brings you above fear. And to be honest, in my opinion, that's honestly one of the only ways, because even the egoic way of coming over fear in a very like bravado and like prideful and like, oh, I'm super tough and way is still coming from fear. I'm so fucking afraid to be seen as weak that I have to put on to seem tough. And that's still stemming from fear. So the only real way to overcome fear is with love. Perfect love casts out all fear. And that's God. Occurred. This might be a little off topic. What do you do when you feel like you just stop completely manifesting? Like, you haven't manifested anything in a long time. Well, you're manifesting all the time. You're not directing your consciousness. And it's funny because I used to get frustrated because I was a chronic resident of Tringsville. And so I would get frustrated and burnt out with manifesting. I'm like, I'm sick of manifesting. I'm not manifesting right now. I'm going to take a break from manifesting. And shit would get, a lot of times shit would get worse. Sometimes it would get better just from me letting it go. But a lot of times shit would get worse. And I was like, man, what the fuck? And it's like, dude, you're going to reap what you sow, whether you sow it consciously or unconsciously. So you might as well sow it consciously. Do you feel like the lullaby method in SATS is as effective as the looping visualization? I don't know. You know, in my opinion, I get better, more accurate results with the visualization, but I believe that's because I'm usually using that for something specific. Usually when I'm doing the lullaby method, it's something more general. But here's what I will say is do what's better for you. If you're someone who's like, I can't visualize, or I'm not good at visualizing, or I'm just not gonna visualize, then it's better for you to do the lullaby method than to not do anything. Okay. I had all my sales fall through today, but I still will keep persisting. Actually, you didn't, Justin. Your sales doubled today. Like, check again. Check again, because I think they doubled, actually. I'm very depressed and feel hopeless, although what Olivia said is helping me. Actually, Amy, you're feeling amazing. Your consciousness is rising more and more and more. You know, they say that Jim Carrey said that depression is when our avatar is tired of playing that role. And damn, this message is coming through for you, Amy, which is that your powerful self is sick of being limited. And your powerful self is sick of being identified with the old stories and being identified with being powerless. And it's like, you're sick of it too. So just give yourself permission to step out of that. Like, don't wait for it. Don't wait for the fucking, you know, the sunshine to come and all the rain is gone and all that stuff. You know, like, claim it and start with your mind. Your mind is getting better and better every single day. Your thoughts are so beautiful and perfect. You think uplifting thoughts automatically. Your mind is actually being cleansed by your God self right now. It's already cleansed. It's actually renewed, right? Your mind is already renewed. It's perfect. It's glistening. It's beautiful, actually. Okay? With tears in my eyes, what I want is still mine. Period. Period. How can you let past trauma relationships stop a new one? I don't want to let my fear manifest in this relationship because of my thinking. My emotions are all over. Really good question. Revise love for yourself. Revise all your relationships. And here's something that has been like coming up a lot in the Bible verses that we've been doing in the past few days, is that you have to completely leave the old man, okay? And what that means, Shan, is that you have to completely step out of the identity of someone who was hurt, someone who was traumatized, someone who was lied to, cheated on, whatever it was, you know? Like, you have to completely let that state be done and step into the new state of being completely loved, adored, cherished, committed to whatever it is that you're choosing with this new person, okay? So you have to step out of the old identity and step into the new identity. I suggest doing that with revision, and I suggest doing like journaling, like doing your journal, like doing journaling revision. Or you can also do like scenes. You can re-see moments where, you know, the people in your life have hurt you or didn't show up for you in the way that you wanted or whatever, and re-see them all being different. Okay. So that's what I would suggest. But you, everybody here, listen to me. When it comes to whatever it is, this is why I made that video the other day about abandoning the old self. You can't bring the old self into the new self, okay? Because you're gonna get wonky results. You have to completely say, that's another version of me. That's another version of me. That's not me anymore, right? Or it never was me. Don't look for the change in your person, you guys. Look for the change in yourself. Because that's what gets you fucked up. You come to the relationship with the fears of, I'm not wanted, I'm not chosen. Relationships, love hurts, love is bad. You know what I mean? Like, and then you're like, okay, I want this person to prove that that's not true. So I'm going to affirm for this person to be like this and be like that and be like this and be like that, but you don't even affirm for yourself, right? So revise yourself in love. Revise your past relationships in love, right? And truly let go that, you know what, that old person that I was is not me anymore. I suggest, like I said, doing the journaling every day, because you need to take time. Like, when we have bad memories, you guys, those memories go on autopilot, okay? So you need a time, and once they're there, it's hard. Like, you can revise them, but it's hard. It's harder to stop the memory when it's already going on. You want to take a moment that you have, like in the morning or something, and sit down and tell yourself the new story. What was it? What is it like now? What has it always been like now? Okay. I've been so worried about a lawsuit I've been fighting 5 years. I need justice like yesterday. I was telling this success story the other day. This is a client that I had that was actually sued twice by a major bank. And we did a sat scene of her laughing and joking with the opposite lawyer, because she didn't have a lawyer. Okay. We did a sat scene of her laughing and joking and said that they're gonna help her. The other lawyer is gonna help her win her case. And that's exactly what happened. She was laughing, playing around with the lawyer. They helped her and she won both cases. Okay. So a lot of times, you guys, when the circumstances seeming dire, it's scary. We feel like, damn, I have to bow to this, but you don't, y'all. And the circumstance is actually the opportunity for you to prove to yourself that you don't have to bow to shit. Okay. Oh, I love you, Mama K. Oh my gosh, Mocha, congratulations. That is amazing. Oh my gosh, you guys, Mocha was just in here like a few days ago. She's like, I'm nervous. Like, I'm trying to get this, house and this and that. And here she is, she manifested it. That's amazing. Incredible. Amazing. Of course you did. We knew you did. You did in that moment already. Love that. Congratulations, Mocha. That makes me so happy. That makes my day. My manifestation is right there. I can see like someone dangling a carrot in my face. How do I let go on a timeline? I don't know what you mean about let go on a timeline, but stop seeing it dangling, see and feel yourself enjoying it. Feel yourself enjoying it, okay? Not surprised that you're thinking and talking about what Jaleesa and I have been discussing for 2 days now. Of course, I love you guys, and Anais, you, Jaleesa, and Cora. And our other baby too. All right, cool. I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm intending this prospers you immensely. I'm absolutely sure that it has. I'm intending that you click off of this. I'm intending that before you close your eyes tonight, you get a sale, you get a client, something happens. You're like, wow. I'm intending that you completely use this moment right now to completely step out of that old identity that says, I can't, and I don't, and it never works for me. I'm intending that you put that to bed right this second. Congratulations, you're the new person. Congratulations, you're a massive success. Okay? Okay. Sending you infinite love, and I will see you guys.